Hello everyone and welcome back to the Australian Esports High School League Term 3 for Rocket League. I'm Mendrix and I'll be your guide this afternoon while we work through all of the explosive action. Our first game today will be Ashdale up against Westbourne from Division 2, but before we do jump into the action, we do need to jump into shouting out our sponsors. So definitely need to give them that fantastic little shout out that they of course deserve. And first up is going to be none other than AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner who provide the best-in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And Indomie, the noodle partner made with high-quality flour and selected ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie meringue will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au. Fantastic stuff. So, as I mentioned, we're going to be going into Cleveland versus good old Ashdale here. Ashdale, obviously coming through from Division 2. That means that they're working their way through, getting their improvement into play, getting everything up and rolling. So we should be jumping into that action shortly. I'm very keen to get into it myself, and hopefully when we do jump into it, the teams will be providing a lot to it. But again, Division 2, this is the beginning of us jumping out of Swiss now into our first games of the round robin, where we start to see how the players will do progress throughout the divisions, what they're going to be able to do. Of course, with the Swiss games prior, what we ended up having was the top 8 moving their way into Division 1 and everyone else making and settling themselves in Division 2 for the time being. So it's going to be good to see what we do. I think looking at then some of these players that are available right now, they're looking pretty strong in that sort of sense that I can see a few platinums, a few diamonds jumping into it. So I think we should be good very shortly to jump into the game. I'm just getting a bit of good old technical issues before we do that, but should be ready to start very shortly with that one. Beautiful stuff, and we are going to be jumping into the action now. Very quickly, JR will be pushing the ball up into the sky there, but Light doesn't want to have any of that. We'll knock it towards the air, and also we're just going to have a bit of a kerfuffle here now in the center of the field while the teams establish who's going to be control, picking up that boost. Nice little hit there. It is going to be on target, but it will be knocked away there. Greeble twice off the bat will make sure that ball does not go through the goal. Now Hudson tries to take it in towards the center here, trying to push it towards there. Isn't going to have the best luck coming into it. Light there will make sure that ball does not go into it, and we do have the ball here just now into the corner. Safety of the corner there, as I said, that cleared away. And we're just going to be maintaining a lot of this here action here. And what we're going to wait to see is perhaps just these teams finish their warm-up, get themselves a little bit in control, make sure everything's ready to roll. I think they are just a little bit out of it. The ball's going to be rolling in. JR manages to hit it right over the edge. And we do see what's going to be the first goal here for Westbourne. Manages to wrap around the ball, get the touch just necessary over Massbird. Westbourne off to a good start here in game 1. And of course, it is going to be a best of 5, so we do have this one possibly going a little bit longer if necessary. Again, in the Swiss portion of the game, it was best of 3s, but now we're giving the teams, the players, a bit of an opportunity to get themselves into a better standing, really create a bit of a meta between the two teams, find out, okay, well, the ground game is good, their air game is good. Hudson showing up a little bit as well. Ball's going to bounce. It's just going to go a little bit wide, but JR will be there for the finish. As you can see there, Hudson trying to push everything through across there, and I think we do have a bit of an issue there. I think one of the players has, unfortunately, isn't going to make their way back, so we'll wait and see what's going to happen there while we do get things into position. I'm just gonna listen now to my production to figure out what is the key problem that we have here right now. Okay, no audio coming through there. Is no audio from me? Oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, I was trying to figure out what's going. Like, you guys can hear me good. Well, fantastic. That's good. So there's no audio for the team now. Okay, hopefully that they can bring that back and fix it in, so then they can jump in and get that audio up and running. Because of course, communication is key in this. You don't want to be jumping for the defending ball. You don't want to be jumping into anything beforehand, because it does leave an open net if you have multiple players committing to a defense or an offense or anything along those lines. So want to make sure that is 100% before we do jump into it. That being said, though, we're going to have to wait and see how long we've got. Do we have any idea on how long this is going to take? Production? Roughly 1 minute. All right, I'm not gonna shoot it to a break. I'm just gonna be jumping it through to me here as well. We're talking about it, and I do want to just discuss is what I want to really be seeing from these teams as well. I really do want them to have, again, that clear communication. That's why the audio is so important, but really be focusing on their rotations. That's the big thing here, especially in these divisions. You don't want to be jumping in when it's not your turn. Otherwise, that's going to be points that you're going to leave gaps in your defense, or you're going to miss out on opportunities that should be available to you. If there is a rogue bounce or a weird deflection, you should really be looking for the ball multiple ways, multiple places, multiple ways that it could come into it, and having that little bit of extra distance, making sure that you all got the correct rotation in terms of where you sit, right? Whether you're going to be the third man, the second man, or the first. That is just so key, especially in these divisions, that you can really put yourself in a massive advantage just by having yourself in that positioning better. And, of course, rotation's been coming into it. So we should be shortly good coming back into it. And I believe we have the game back, so we're going to be bringing that back now. Back into that replay, which, of course, is going to be a JR getting that goal, that extra goal here for Westbourne. Back into the kickoff there. 2 players committed for Westbourne, only 1 on the side of Ashdale. Few little misses on the side. Massbird will get a big deflection. Light's going to control it nice and softly and bring it up to the air. You can really see Hudson definitely has a bit of extra mechanical prowess that I'm quite happy to bring to the table here. Definitely a nice boon for Westbourne. JR in position. Ball will just go just wide. Ashdale able to clear out. Able to survive that goal from getting through. Light now trying to force their way through. He's trying to reposition the ball to be in a better position here, but he's just going to miss out on getting that. Now we just have, again, this good old cat and mouse game as the players come to a bit of an open net there. Westbourne not capitalizing. Hudson's going to get their ball going just wide, trying to get the control in. Light's also trying to push it away. It's a bit of a messy goal, but it's a goal nonetheless, and JR knocks that one away. Nice little lock in towards the end, and you can see it's not not a pretty goal, but when you are in these the lower tier here in the division, right, it is tough to sort of get the ball out in the when you don't have momentum around the ball, you're not in the correct position. It's a bit awkward here with the cars. It takes a bit of time, a bit of hours behind the wheel, behind the controller or your keyboard to get really used to how you should be moving in these sort of tight corners, these tight corridors, where you don't have the ability to sort of line yourself up before you do go for a nice little whack on the ball. Touch going through, ball going through there. Westbourne scores another. Really showing us a commanding presence here. You can see Light was trying to get around. Wanted to get a good hit there, but Hudson gets there just a little bit quicker, a little bit faster, and the disco ball is going to be rolling. And I'm just looking here at what Ashdale could potentially do to sort of bring themselves into a better position. It is a little bit of that, hey, need to just be a little bit more on point, just slow it down a little bit. You guys you have 3 players, right? You can slow it down, look to be a little bit more accurate, and that should let you be yourself in a better position. Light there does a nice little flick to try and push it up there, but doesn't get the car completely behind the ball to get the flick up. Hudson now will be pushing it forward here, looking for opportunity, perhaps the center. First aid will be there to knock it up, but the ball's still in a dangerous position here. Will be the first one to get to it, will be Westbourne, but not in the direction they want it to go. And now we do have a bit of a reset here as the players reset their positions, look to get another setup, refill their tanks. Hudson's completely out of it for the time being. Does get a nice little pick up there. We'll slurp up that boost. Agreeable wants to get in there. There's an opportunity for Ashdale. JR is holding position, manages to get it out. Hudson now will clear the ball away. Well and truly looking up for an opportunity. Is going to have to slow down the play. Unable to get themselves around the ball. Hudson puts it in a dangerous position here, but will quickly knock it right out before Ashdale has any chance to capitalize. First aid. Puts the ball up high. He's trying to follow up. Isn't going to get there. Bit of a concerning point now for Ashdale. They do manage to get it cleared out, but the ball is going back and forward here. Westbourne looking for an opportunity. Setup seems to be there. JR. Nice little air roll there in mid-air. Just trying to get some good control on the ball. Managed to get the hit, but not the ideal touch for a setup. Once again, Ashdale looking to control here. Keeping it into the corner. This is where things get a bit tough. Ball slowly making its way towards the center, but Ashdale will be doing everything in their power to keep it out. Westbourne gets it up there, trying to get it on through. It will be deflected. But Westbourne, of course, up 4-0, will be taking that first game. Just having a quick look at the stats there as well. You can see very good stuff there come from JR. Hudson with the assists and the shots as well. Really bringing it across for both of these teams in this tournament. And yeah, Ashdale really do have their work cut out for them if they're going to find a way to get it back against Westbourne, who just do seem to be that slightly bit stronger for the time being. I mean, 4-0 isn't a surmountable amount to get through, but it definitely is going to be a hard hill for them to climb and get themselves ahead. Coming through from the kickoff here, we're now into game number 2. Of course, Westbourne is going to be the ones up there. 2 more games to lock away for them to take away this round 1 here of course, it's going to be week 2. The competition. JR looking to control it. No tank, or no boost in the tank, which is unfortunate there. Isn't going to be able to do much with it. Hudson now in control. Looking to perhaps go for a bit of an air dribble up high. Nice control there. We'll try to push it down. Isn't going to be able to get there, but will create a little bit of chaos here for Ashdale, but ultimately a fruitless task as they do manage to clear up. Ball once again in the corner. Will be taken to the air. JR wants to control it. Isn't going to get the touch, but Hudson is going to slow it down. This is what I mean again. That idea of sometimes you don't need to be too quick. Of course, if you're going up against a quick, accurate opponent, it feels so obvious. Nice little save there as JR goes for a shot. Will be able to get through at the end of the day or stop it from coming across. Hudson tries to be a bit fancy. Push the ball into the goal with the backside of the car, but isn't going to be able to get there. Now Westbourne, the ones under pressure here, tries to push that out. Will be successful. Light there, shadowing for the time being on JR. Mass Birdie will be the one to knock this one clear. Maybe an opportunity here for Ashdale. Light, fortunately, pushes it over the edge there. Of course, Westbourne were probably going to be able to get a nice little push back, so I can understand why Light wants to make this work. This is a real opportunity here. Agreeable, shutting that play down, cutting it off at its legs. JR now trying to do the aerial play, but will be cleaned up by Hudson. And we just do have a much more competitive game here between Ashdale and Westbourne. Westbourne not able to make use of those opportunities. Ashdale is finally settling into the gameplay, the style that Westbourne bring, and they've definitely managed to improve their defense there. As I say that, though, a bit of a caster curse might come across. Hudson goes for the shot, but it will be deflected. Save coming on through. Light there will push the ball over the edge there. Hudson doing a good job to make sure it doesn't go any further past their half. Wants to bring it to the air. Light's going to miss out on that one. Hudson slows it down. Here's an opportunity for a cross. Relatively open there. JR goes for the shot, but it's just wide. It's an open net there. Light seizes the opportunity, and Ashdale up ahead the first time here in this game. And of course, want to be able to hold this lead if possible. And this is that discussion that we talk about where the rotations need to be so on point, because if you do overcommit, another player doesn't rotate back when they should, you leave an open net. And that's something that can be really rectified here. And I think maybe perhaps that communication, that's one of the real key things that Ashdale is definitely doing a little bit better here, is their rotations are coming in. That's a great shot, but it is going to go just a little bit wide. But the rotations are what are keeping them strong this time around. They're not really having... There's never really an open net here. Light there, sneaks in underneath, finds the angle, shots it right on through. Westbourne were not prepared for that. Light really knew they had to get there. Hudson was expecting the ball to go high and it went low. And sometimes you need to have both the ground and the air game covered. Ashdale looking to make this one a series. Westbourne finding it a bit rough. Hudson again finding an opportunity to create there. Will let them mount a bit of an offensive there with a bit of the tricky play with the backside of the car. Well, will be missed out there. First Aid will be pushing it towards the other side of the field, trying to reset where Westbourne could come into it. JR wants to get in. Hudson will knock that one into the corner here. Light knocks their teammate there. Not a best case scenario. Ball's going up high. Will be wide of the net. Wide of the goal. Hudson knocking it up there towards the end. Here's a real opportunity here. Hudson unfortunately pushes it just too far high. A chance to bring the deficit a little bit closer. Well, eat away a little bit of it. Definitely missed here. Ball there going just wide once again. First Aid not going to be happy with that outcome. But with 45 seconds left on the clock here, any chance for Westbourne to bring it back? Evaporating. Light once again pulling off a hat trick. JR trying to control it. Playing with the ball a little bit too much. As I say, that was actually Hudson to knock that one on through towards the end there. And again, perhaps not really playing with the ball. Again, I like the idea of slowing it down, being a little bit more controlled there when you do go for your strikes on the ball. But sometimes you just got to get it out of there when the setup is in place there. And Westbourne are the ones that are going to have to suffer in that scenario. First Aid now bringing it towards the center here. Hudson will be able to knock it from the backboard. Hudson brings it up. He's going to beat one of the players there. Mass Birdie quickly comes back to cover the goal. That rotation, once again, really serving Ashdale well here. Serving them so well, in fact, that they've managed to turn the first game from a 4-0 to a 3-0 in their advantage there. Definitely a good turnaround here. Looking very good. Ball's going to be in the air, and it's going to be Ashdale taking game number 2. And I do want to take a quick look at the stats as well, just to sort of get a good idea in terms of what are the differences there. And you can just see that the touch is a little bit more. Light really stepping up this game as well, just being on point, getting those goals, all those different things coming across. Looking really strong, looking really good in that sense. And we just have a bit of a reset here now as well as we make our way into game 3. Of course, Westbourne need to be the ones now to go back to the drawing board on that one, see if they can fix everything up there as we come back into it. And we will be moving now into the kickoff once again. Westbourne with a nice little advantage here as they bring it towards the corner of Ashdale. Light will do a good job to take this one away. Looking more confident on the strikes there. That speed, of course, has been serving them well in game 2, but as you can see there, just misses that last bit of a touch there. Unable to get the center. Hudson now up high. Light's got to be there. Able to get the demolition. Cut that play at its legs before it has a chance to even take flight. Mass Bird now will try to push that towards the center, but opts to go for the boost. Wait to see what Westbourne will do with it. Perhaps intercept any real play if it comes into it. It's not going to actually work out in their advantage. Light will push it through towards the center just by knocking it through the corner, using that wall as a second teammate. JR now gets a nice little center here. Unable to get that next touch there, but this is looking good from Hudson. Gets it down low. It's just going to be wide and cleared away to Ashdale. managing to not be punished there. Nice little deflection from Hudson as they bring it up nice and high. Light now looking to get around the ball here. As you can see the rotation serving Ashdale still well. Ooh, that's a bit of a bad one there. He's not able to get through. JR tries to seize the opportunity, but will hit the ball just a little bit too high. JR now takes it towards the center, pushes it up. Masperdi trying to intercept the ball here, but JR being that little bit quicker. Light does a good job there to bring it towards the center here, but this is an opportunity for both teams to jump on, strike on it. Hudson now bringing it up. Will actually miss out on it. Unable to get for the center here. JR, though, will be there. Yes, this is looking like an opportunity for Westbourne. Hudson unable to get the touch they needed. Unable to get their car in the position and the angle that they wanted to make it work. JR trying to re-bring it back once again. It's going to go a bit far. But we'll continue to play on through, create these opportunities. This is looking like one. Masperdi does well under pressure, keeps the ball live. Still looking good, Hudson. Nice little touch there. JR gets there, manages to tip it over. It's going to be enough. Light tries to defend, but the angle's just too good from JR. Westbourne are the first ones to get first blood here in this game 3. Moving now to the second kickoff of game 3. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. Only 1-0. Plenty of opportunity for Ashdale to bring this one back. Masperdi trying to do that, or Masbird will knock it on through. The defense is strong there, but the touch, they understood what they needed to do with the assessment, right? They understood they needed to get the ball clear, but JR's touch was a little bit too soft. Light jumps in it, was able to read that one, is able to equalize this for Ashdale. Well, back to the drawing board for both of these teams here now as we equalize on up 1-1. Light, though, strikes hard, strikes well, agreeable. Able to work through and actually stop that one from coming on down. Will defend. That's not what you want to have happen here. Masbird puts the ball up high, trying to create an opportunity for everyone. Bit of chaos here now in the Westbourne goal. But JR will be able to knock that one right on out of there. And we just have both the teams now just looking for a setup, looking for a bit of a weakness in the armor from each team, where it's going to be. I think Westbourne have definitely upped their own rotations this time around, realizing, hey, we can't just sort of be that quicker team this time around. Ashdale do have the positioning set up well, and so we need to couple that speed with a bit more setup, a little bit more strategy. And they have managed to even things up, and it's going to be Hudson who's going to be able to find the goal as well. You can just really see there, JR gets a nice little touch up there. Unfortunately, even though they do manage to get a demo, that does mean an extra player isn't going to be back to defend. Net relatively open, and a nice little touch there will push it over the edge for Westbourne. Agreeable now manages to snag that boost as well. Isn't able to get themselves around it. Hudson now looking to center. Ashdale, both band members there. The rotations from Ashdale seem to have fallen apart a little bit here in these last 2 minutes. You can see that's probably the reason we can put towards here for Westbourne. Starting to get a bit more aggressive, find a few more opportunities. Hudson now trying to keep the ball towards this Ashdale half. JR gets into the center. Nice little quick touch there directly afterwards as well. Ashdale unable to recover, and Westbourne looking very strong in game 3. You can see there, Masbird was in position, but just didn't jump. Ball going over the top, and Westbourne here probably managed to lock away game 3. With 37 seconds left there, very a tall order for Ashdale to come back. Hudson with an opportunity, agreeable with 1-2 as well. A nice little touch there will be enough to get it clear. As I say that though, a bit of a caster curse as I bring that across. Ball goes up in the air. Hudson sees it. You can see the JR actually with a beautiful setup manages to knock it right out of the hands of Ashdale before they have a chance to push the ball through towards the center on the wall. Again, that speed from Westbourne really beginning to add a little bit of extra weight to it as they've adapted to Ashdale here. JR, nice little jump off the wall there, sets up enough of an opportunity, and again, that speed once again coming through to it. I just really love that. I really want to see the replay here, right? As you can see, jumps the ball, using that as jumps the ball into the wall, using that as a second player, immediately jumps off to reposition, so they've got basically an ultimate recovery and can immediately go for that 5-on-1 goal. So Westbourne really strutting their stuff this time around. You can see Ashdale. I think Ashdale probably have resigned this game 3. They're probably going, you know what? I'm not going to be able to come back here. We can not be too try-hardish as we do set up what's going to be for the next game. Start mentally preparing for that one there. Of course, that's going to be match point for Westbourne. Going to be the do or die here for Ashdale. And yeah, Hudson, JR, agreeable. I feel like, you know, bringing everything across to it. Of course, JR, most shots, does allow them most shots, most goals, right? Funny how that works out. Most highest score coming across there. Westbourne now, that jumping onto that match point, looking very strong, looking very big for it. A lot coming into it. Ashdale, I did like what they did. I like their adjustment, but now they do need to sort of up their ante in terms of their movements. They do need to be that little bit quicker, that little bit more confident when they approach the ball. That seems to be what I feel a bit of their downfall coming into it, is that Westbourne do just seem to be that better team on the day. And which is fine, right? This is what's the point of the competition, the grassroots bringing into it. You get to see what is going to be your weaknesses, what you need to shore up, what you want to make to be your strengths. And what I really wanted to be now next, probably going for Ashdale, is looking to increase that speed and that accuracy just that little bit. Well, now jumping now into game 4. Westbourne looking strong here. I think Light, definitely one of the more active members here for Ashdale. Trying to bring a bit of a faster strike into it. Light tries to push that ball through into the center. We'll use the backboard, but Westbourne will be able to read it. Bring it here towards the end, that side. JR trying to deflect. Perhaps cause a bit of chaos here for Ashdale. Get them out of position, but it will be red. Ashdale now the ones looking to create an opportunity. Keeping the ball here in Westbourne's half. Massbird tries to bring it towards the center. Hudson's trying to be the one to bring it, but again, a bit of a poor touch there. First Aid sees it and will be able to knock that one away. As you can see, Hudson has the right idea here. Unfortunately, though, you don't want to put a center right in front of your goal because these things do happen, and you sometimes, when you're trying to be a little bit fancy, you can muck up. That's that point comes into it. But that being said, trying to be fancy is a sign of a player that's looking to improve, looking to get that little bit better. Unfortunately, it just means that when you do make these mistakes, it looks a little bit more obvious. Massbird here with a bit of a weak touch there. The ball will go nice and flush against the back wall there, so it's going to be hard for Westbourne to capitalize. They will go for a strong touch into it and will knock right on out. Massbird now looking for an opportunity to make it work. There's something there, right, that you just saw that went through. Massbird just wasn't confident to follow the ball up, then jump off the wall to push off for a center. Where it's something where I've really been seeing Westbourne do, just like that. JR quite happy to follow the ball as it's dropping down and then jump off the wall. Really dodge afterwards there to just use the momentum of where the ball's going to create more opportunities, and that seems to be what's happening here now in games 3 and 4. Westbourne using that confidence lets them set up a little bit more. Ball now making its way towards Ashdale's half, but it will be cleared out by Light. Agreeable jumping back in. That's a bit of a dangerous situation there. Actually brought on by one of their teammates with a touch there, but Agreeable handles it well under pressure. Is able to keep the ball out from being a goal. Bit of a bump action there from Light saying, get out of the way. I see the ball. I want to strike it. Hudson now brings the ball up high. Looking to push here. First aid, though, will catch it. Agreeable now will knock the ball towards the center. This is looking a real opportunity for Westbourne. And they do manage to bring that one on through. Yeah, a bit of a rough scenario here. Definitely a rough scenario. JR knocking on through. Light up in the air. And now, looking to control it. Ooh, this is good. This is where maybe being a bit too quick is part of the problem, right? And that's definitely something that happens, right? When you try to air roll while also controlling the ball at the same time to get a touch onto it, you can just air roll the car around the ball. You really do need to like make sure that your positioning when you do jump into the ball when you're going to air roll around it is a little bit off center. Otherwise, you can just air roll around it, like we saw there. And a bit of a risky situation if Ashdale were expecting that to happen or were in preparation or prepared, could have actually jumped on there and snuck away an easy goal. But the thing is that what I am seeing from these players is they're good enough to see and expect what's going to be an aggressive play, right? Or what they're expecting the other opponent to hit the ball, to strike the ball. So they're sort of playing a little bit in the future where they're going, okay, I'm expecting the ball to go to the left or the right, wherever it may be. And unfortunately, that means they're positioning themselves to actually not be available for these balls to capitalize on. Hudson, though, nice little hit over the edge there. Will push Westbourne into the lead here with that one. You can see that here. Gets the boost. Is going to be able to slow down right towards the end there. That's going to allow them to chip the ball over the edge. And Westbourne looking to lock this first round away here against Ashdale. 40 seconds left on the clock here. Still plenty of time to equalize on out. You can see plenty of fight left in Ashdale here now. Hudson, though, will go up high. Again, that idea of being willing to follow the ball, be in the air. Something that Westbourne have been definitely doing. Ashdale, I feel, have been trying to do it a little bit more now as well, but not to the same success that Westbourne has had. But that's the right mentality to have. Like the idea of I'm going to try to execute this, I'm going to try to do this because eventually I will get it right, and that's going to get me an advantage to it. But in the end, Westbourne will be the ones to take away here game one, round one of the competition. Very good stuff coming across there. Big thank you to both these teams for bringing that across there. Just having a quick look at that scoreline as well. You can see not a super standout player here this time around. They're very even scores across the board there, but Hudson definitely being a bit of a linchpin to get those extra goals and they're coming to it. Definitely a good start here for Westbourne here in Division 2, managing to knock that one away against Ashdale. But of course, we still have plenty more Rocket League action coming your way, so please do not go anywhere. While we do go to a quick break, we will be right back. Welcome back to the Australian Esports High School League for Term 3 for Rocket League. We're going now into our second game, and if you're just joining us, Westbourne was victorious over Ashdale, but we get to see the sibling team jump into it now. It's going to be Westbourne versus Trinity, and something a little bit special as well coming into it will be the fact that we're going into a 2v2, not a 3v3. This is in a scenario where, well, only two players could come into it, and other teams like, hey, you know what, we'll make it 2v2. This is just how it worked out. And to be honest, I'm kind of all for it. I'm totally down for the fact that these players are ready to jump in and do something a little bit different, even though it's not going to be a 3v3. That's completely fine by my stretch of the imagination. So I'm personally very happy to jump into it and do it that way as well. And seeing a 2v2 will be a little bit different, right? It's going to be a little bit more spicy, right? Those mistakes are a bit more punishing. Should be good as we come into that. And we are jumping into the action. Jumping on through very quickly. Trinity able to pick up a goal here as well off the back of that little hit. Dina now. Ball's going to be in the air. King Arthur looks to control here. And so, again, you don't have that extra player to rotate back. And you kind of need to bring two for the commit. This is what makes it so deadly there. Just like that, though. That's the thing there. So all of a sudden now, opportunity for a counterattack for Westbourne. Dina able to do a decent enough job there to keep it away. Common, though, will be able to knock it on through. Dina manages to hit over the edge here. Is going to be up in the air. Manages to knock that one in. Dina showing us a little bit of that air roll prowess as well. Nice control. As you can see, sees the balls goes up in the air. Able to read the trajectory of the bounce. Knock that one right on through. Open goal here. Coming across to Trinity, and they managed to push that lead that little bit further. And this is sometimes what happens on the kickoff goals. It's a bit of a mismatch here. I just want to bring this up as well. And Dina just been that little bit quicker. That little bit quicker. Did end up actually grabbing them that extra goal here, 3-0. Still got 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And again, you just have to be a little bit roughing out. I'm looking at what Dina's doing here on Twitch IC. And yeah, it's just they're quicker off the bat. They're quicker off the bat when it comes to hitting their boost, hitting their thing. Normally this doesn't work. What you'll probably find is the players will try to boost their way into it. You sort of need to boost and then dodge into the ball. Even if you've got the ability to do a quick flip on kickoff. If you do jump at the right time, you should be able to deflect it here. Another goal coming across to Trinity. Nice little quick hit there. 88 kilometers per hour. Sometimes can be a bit hard to read. And we can see Trinity definitely set themselves up into a good position here. Dina now, good control. We'll get the pass in. As you can see, the nice little jump dodge as well. We'll let them control the ball, but they do go just that little bit wide. Which I see doing the intelligent move will actually go back. Perhaps, just on the risk of it going down, is going to miss out on an opportunity to obviously go for the attack. Dina will knock the ball back to Twitch IC, who will have to fend past King Arthur. Now it's going to be a bit of a challenge between Common. Dina now gets the center. Will push their way through. Again, I like the idea. Sort of jumping on through, then air rolling towards the ball. Perhaps you'll be able to get the hit there. If you've got better control there, you will be able to obviously knock the ball in control. But Dina showing us that they are definitely up there with what their capability is going to be in terms of their play. Now, normally in these divisions, what Dina did there, which was knock the ball into the back wall, which ended up being a center towards their side of the field, I would say is a big no-no, but you could tell that was a thought out one by Dina. They understood, hey, if I knock the ball in and I'm quick to push the recovery, there is no real risk here. So I'm completely fine with a decision that was made there. Dina now trying to get the ball in towards the center here. And it is definitely a little bit of a dance that Dean has put in across here. Is that set up for Twitch? And that's going to be enough for them to get through. And now at 6-0 for this team. I just really want to, again, touch on what they were doing there. It's that dance back and forth that Dina was doing is essentially suffocating the boost out of Westbourne, who need to obviously sit within the goal area. They're unable to venture out forth to grab the boost. And it just means that it's going to create more opportunities for Trinity to force a goal, while slowly whittling away at the opportunities for Westbourne to save it. And that means that Dean is going to be able to jump through. But this time they didn't need to do that. Nice little touch there in the end there. Common unable to be in position for it. I think this is one of those things as well where I was talking about, hey, you know, rotations need to be strong. And Westbourne here are definitely rotating. But the positioning of that rotation is also important. And one of the things you can do in this scenario is actually hold the far post, right? Something like Common's not really doing, which does actually means that they're going to get a bit of a traitorous goal there as well. You can see he's sitting towards the center, or she's sitting towards the center. And what they need to do is actually be on the far side of the post, close towards the goal. This stops the ball, or stops there being a risk of you, one, deflecting the ball into your own goal. Because if the ball hits you, it's most likely going to go towards outwards, because the ball's going to be coming towards you from the in. You're behind the ball hits you, ball will not deflect in the wrong direction. It can still, don't get me wrong, this is Rocket League, but what you want to have happen is you want to put yourself in the best possible position to be able to, one, react to the ball when it's coming to you, and two, if you can't react, at least you're going to be in a position where if it does hit you, you will be getting a save out of it. So we can just see here, once again, a nice little prowess there coming across from Dina as they look for a setup here. King Arthur unable to get the initial bounce there, and yeah. Dina with a bit of a dribble juggle there as well. Definitely a strong team here from Trinity. Showing us what they're capable of, and I look forward to see what they can do as a little bit further as this progresses there. And that's a textbook move there. Nice little chip on the hit, right? Bam. Common just unable to get there, and that's another thing as well that comes with time. Being able to judge your position to the ball relative to your opponents, and whether you're going to be able to get there in time and get the touch before they get the touch. Because that is definitely a key skill that you need to have. Otherwise, that lets you set up your positioning. You can go, okay, you know what? I'm not going to challenge the ball. I'm going to sit back and wait for my opponent to make their move. Dina looking for a ceiling pinch there, trying to be a little bit fancy here. Let's face it, when you've got a 10-1 lead, you can play a little bit as well and show us what you're capable of. Just continuing with that one there as well. And I think my production team are messaging there. I'm sorry, what was that last bit that you just said there? No worries. And as time has gone on, Westbourne's third player will be able to make it into the next matches here, which will even things up a little bit. I think, let's be fair, let's be honest here. I think Trinity need a little bit of a challenge coming across here. Adding that extra player will definitely change the dynamics here of this match, which I would be looking forward to. And I think Dina and Icy would probably like to do as well. And it does do it in a particular way that makes it a bit harder as well. I think we do have that that extra player beginning to make their way in right now as we speak. You know what I like to say? Better late than never, all right? That really is a big thing that comes into it as well. And I think immediately you can already see the effects of having that extra player come into the mix as well. Trinity now need to rethink their decision-making a little bit more. They're not able to get themselves in the perfect position. They're going to have to go for a few extra touches now to get the ball into the back of the net. I think it's completely fine for William, King Arthur, Common Hive now to just sort of play around a little bit, shake out their nerves, and make sure they're going to be prepared for the second game here. Because, of course, Trinity have a lead that's just too much to overcome. We can see there as well. I mean, looking at that across there, I do want to have a quick look at the stats just to see how many goals have been put through. Dina, 7 goals, 9 shots there. Very impressive score of 1,225. But I don't think they're going to have as much of an easy run as they are going to have coming into it this time around. So, we'll get the teams ready. We'll get things moving into the next one as we do have it ready to go. I'm very keen to jump into it. I'm very keen to see what happens now that we do have a bit of a change for the teams as we do get them ready to jump in and jump into the action. It is now going to be a 3v2. I think this is going to be one of those 3v2s that I'm more than happy to cast, because we do have a very strong side here from Trinity. Very powerful team coming into it. Let's see if Westbourne can now overcome what seems to be either Twitch, IC, or Dina making their moves around. And you can see immediately Trinity are sitting a bit more back. They understand that that extra player is a bit of a threat. We're not going to be as aggressive now as we move forward into it. You can see Dina already doubling back there, understanding, okay, I don't have the angle of the shot quite that we want to have coming into it. 3 players here committing on the side of Westbourne. This is definitely a bit of a misstep, because we know that Trinity have the ability to jump to it. Dina's going to be the one in the air pushing it towards the center. It's going to go over the top of William. And as you can see here, ball's going very close to being in, will be in, is going to dip down just towards the end. And that is going to be a nice little hit up here as well for Trinity to start up. But immediately looking at Westbourne, I feel they definitely do need to think about their rotations a little bit, not overcommit multiple players. So you can see they're already making that change there. King Arthur remained in the goals to make that play happen as well, but a bit of a panic does mean that the ball will slowly guide its way into the goal, and Twitch IC will be there to jump in. A little bit of a fake as well. You could see that William was in position to defend against the ball if it was going to be dodged hit on then, but the patience coming across from Twitch IC did mean that they were able to hit the ball afterwards, after the defender was well and truly clear. It does mean that they're going to get themselves another goal here very well. But you can see Trinity not scoring in such quick succession like they did before. As I say that, Pastor cursing poor Westbourne. You can see Dina doing a very good job there to knock the ball over the edge. Good control. Using the side wall to knock the ball in directly afterwards as well. Kickoff coming on through here. We'll go towards Trinity's side. Well handled by our IC there. You know, I'm going to be a little bit more critical of the Trinity side in terms of as they handle things here. Again, being a little bit too aggressive on the side there. What I saw from Twitch, the way that he handled the ball there, I know you have the capability to catch the ball, Twitch. Okay? I can see that you've got the ability to do it. You just whacked it. Okay? I want to see you and Dina catching it. You guys have got the ability. There's the reason why you gave away that goal to Westbourne. So I'm expecting a little bit more out of it from you guys. Now, Westbourne, you need to not commit as much, and you're doing it. Like William sitting in goal, being smart about it. King Arthur, Common Hive, circling underneath like sharks, waiting for their opportunity to strike and perhaps get onto the ball here. And they're definitely making Dina and Twitch work a bit more for their goals this time around. As you can see here, nice little control here. Twitch again. Again, I feel like you could control it a little bit better, but that was definitely better than the last time. Dina, very good shot there. Very good opportunity. We'll go for a center here. Twitch in the right position. They knew exactly what they needed to do. Will be able to get themselves and make this a 4-1. William, yeah. And again, I want to just go back to Westbourne. You guys, what you need to look to do is play far post. If you've got 2 players in the defensive position, you park one in close post, you park one in the far post. If you've only got one player in defense, park them far post. Common, you can't defend the ball from that position there. It's too easy for Dina to go in for a center. Knock that on through, of course, with support from Twitch actually to knock this one away. You can see what they're planning to do here. Push that one straight away. You need to be behind the net, far post. It makes it so much easier to defend the ball. Also, if you think the ball is going to be going high, don't need to look at it. You look at it, you sort of do need to sort of get a go, because just by doing that jump in the high air, you put yourself in a position where you're unable to defend. Twitch Icy, unable to convert that goal in. It was a good center in, but a little bit off there, moving a little bit too quickly does mean it's going to miss. Happens to the best of us. Dina now bringing it up high. Nice control. Looking for a flip reset there. I like the thought. They were able to actually get it to work, but they were a bit too quick on it. You sort of want to get the ball underneath, then flick afterwards. Dina finding the finish there as well as the ball gets centered on through. Twitch Icy, nice little touch. Will of course get the center ball in. And this is where you want to have that decision making between the players there for Westbourne. You want to have one team, one player looking to challenge, rest sitting in that goal post, especially when it's so close, especially when it's in the corner there. Twitch Icy, good control, isn't going to fumble that one. Ball on kickoff, of course, not being ideal in that one there for the Westbourne side here as we do go to a 7-1. Trinity beginning to ramp up there, feeling a bit more confident, feeling a little bit more coming into it. Westbourne, I feel now, might be looking towards Game 3. Game 2, not going to be their game this time around. Twitch, being intelligent there, looks for the bump. Will actually make it work there, but doesn't have the follow-up from Dina. You see Twitch there trying to reposition, but that slight bump will stop them from converting that shot. King Arthur managing to get past Twitch Icy. Dina holding position. We'll jump towards the air. Remove the threat of the ball. Nice little slow control there. Will, of course, manage to beat some of the plays there, but of course, the aggressiveness coming through from Westbourne does mean that Dina wasn't able to get their usual control that they'd like to have. As we come into it now in the dying minute here, 45 seconds left on the clock. Trinity, clear advantage, 7-1. But definitely a different result from what we had beforehand. Dina now, I know what you're doing. You're planning to knock it back. Alright. I know you jumped towards the ceiling and you knocked down, but that's not what you wanted to do. You wanted to jump to the air, start air dribbling across from that angle. You did not want to jump to the wall there. If you did want to jump to the wall there, I don't think that was still the correct decision. Twitch Icy, though, will convert my 8th goal here as well. Dina this time around looking for another flip reset, unable to make it work. Twitch goes, you know what? I'm going to knock you to the side here and just go for the simple goal instead. Nice way to finish that one on through. Don't need it to be too fancy. Dina, nice little pinch onto the wall. Will safely clear it across. That's the thing you want to be doing. You don't want it to be a half-measured touch. You really want it to be a nice, strong one. Dina does a good job there of guiding the ball in nice and safely as well. As you can see, nice control, understanding what they need to do. Air dribbling from the bounce on the ground. It's definitely a higher skill maneuver there. So liked what they put on to show at that moment. And with that, Trinity taking away game 2. Things looking a little bit different there on that scoreboard there. A bit even between Dina and Icy this time around. Of course, having to play that little bit more conservative because you can you can still lose here against these 3 players, right? You can't count them out. Westbourne can slowly adapt and improve as time goes on, so there's still going to be an opportunity for them to bring this one back. It's definitely going to be a tall order. I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park here for Westbourne to bring it back to Trinity. But Trinity can't just take their foot off the gas just yet. They still need to be relatively controlled, relatively thinking about their play coming into it. Because I know they definitely have the skills and the capability to be better or are better, but they still need to be careful about it. As we jump into it, very quick goal here from Trinity from the kickoff. I really like what's happened here, just off the kickoff here, specifically for Westbourne. Yeah, Trinity scored. Okay, yeah, I get that. But Westbourne have picked up much more now off their kickoff before. Beforehand, Trinity were just doing a simple little boosts into the ball. That meant that they were able to get the initial hit first off the kickoff. And of course, they scored a few quick goals quick kickoff goals off the back of that. Again, Dina, nice little play there as well. Very quick, very direct, very assertive, jumping straight into the ball. Will get a good touch, clears it nice and effectively. Now looking for a setup across here towards Twitch Icy. They won't quite get the angle. Ball's going to go just wide. Dina lunges at it, but is unable to make it work. But Twitch is able to get back around and lock into it well. And this is the rotations coming across a little bit better, right? The 2 of them are rotating in and around. You can see Dina realizes that they're not going to have the angle, chooses to dodge out of the way. Twitch Icy gets in, able to convert that one into a nice little finish. But the kickoff's already markedly better here for Westbourne. They're improving in real time. They're showing us that they do have the ability to take it up a notch and get there. King Arthur, not the best touch here, but won't matter. Common High with the demo will protect any opportunity for Trinity to go for a strike. Dina now slows it down. Not able to get the ball into a higher touch does mean they do need to bring it back to the ground. Now, Twitch Icy knocking that one on through. William doing a good job there to knock that one away. Demo's coming across. Aggressiveness is doing a good job here. And I do like this sort of switch up from Westbourne. What they're saying is, okay, obviously we're being beat right now with skills, but we can do a simple play, which of course is going to be jumping off the back of demos, being more aggressive, looking for those bumps. You can't show your skill if you're being manhandled. That's the big thing that we need to take into account here, and that can slow down Trinity. That can create opportunities for them to make this one work, which Icy with a shot here will be able to make it work. Westbourne unable to recover from that backboard deflection. And you can see here, both of them not holding the position, but I do like it. They kind of, you do need to move out, right? When you see that ball bounce off, you need to move into the ball, jump, and aggressively challenge it. Otherwise, it will be a nice little setup there for the opposing team. The quicker that you can get to it, the better. But of course, at the same time, you got to be accurate. You can't miss. Otherwise, you have the exact same scenario you're trying to avoid anyway. Twitcher Icy unable to find the angle there to make that a full kneel goal. Does mean that Westbourne's able to get it away. King Arthur takes their time, but ultimately unable to get the touch. Not really the best center in from Dina Eva. Common Hive, once again, using that aggressiveness, slows down Trinity, means they have to respawn on the map, re-get their boost, re-put themselves in position. Dina now up high, looking perhaps for a bit of a ceiling pinch, but or a floor pinch from the ceiling would be what I really wanted to say, but unable to finish that one off. William now knocking it up high. We'll try to get it over the edge there, but it will be read by Dina. Nice little finish there from Twitch. Able to get in position. So the ball like goes in. A bit of an awkward bounce. King Arthur unable to get the clear. And Twitch, you know, just putting themselves in a position to be like, hey, if you miss, I'm going to score. But if you don't, I might be able to reposition the ball afterwards. That's sort of the idea, right? You want to sort of be putting yourself in a position that allows you to be able to jump on both of the situations. Dina being very cheeky there. The pass from Twitch icy across. Knew where the ball was going to come. I'm just going to sit here and just little jump. Little jump. That's all I need is a little jump in the right direction. And that's going to get themselves a 5-0 lead here. But again, Westbourne, I feel I've slowed down a little bit now, especially in the past 2 minutes. Last minute actually. Last minute, I feel they've sort of slowed down a bit. But before that, much more different Westbourne from all the other matches that we had from before. Very different in that sense, where they were moving quicker, they were rotating a little bit better, they were being very aggressive on the ball, really taking it towards Trinity, really doing a lot more stuff there towards the end. These are all things that I reckon you've been showing again that incremental improvement from game in and game out. And while it can be a bit rough to go up against a player that is of a higher caliber than you, like I'm not going to mince my words here. Trinity's players are better. The best way to get better is to verse better players. You sort of, it's sort of like a Zenkai boost, right? You don't, like, Goku didn't get better by versing weaker opponents. He needed to go up against harder opponents every single time to snatch that victory, to push himself that ever bit further. That's how you get to Super Saiyan. That's how you improve in anything. You can't sit there and be a little bit too easy about it. You need to challenge yourself. So Trinity really shining a light here on what Westbourne can be doing a little bit better. And I reckon, to be honest, that seeing this here, I can see the Westbourne players stepping up next time. They're going to go, okay, you know what? Watching these replays, looking at the way that Dina moves, looking at the way that Twitch Icy moves, looking at the positioning, looking at what they're doing, using their air roll more effectively, using their little bits there in particular ways. They can start to imitate, put their own twist onto it. That's how you start, right? Everyone imitates like what someone else does beforehand, right? You start to go, okay, this is how you're playing, this is what you're doing. I'm going to imitate that. Once you realize that the imitation is as good as theirs, or, you know, close enough, you can start to go, you know what? Yeah, but I'm a bit stronger when I air roll a little earlier, when I air roll a little later, when I jump a little earlier, or I like to sit back a bit, I like to be a bit more defensive instead of as aggressive here, and then it lets you start putting your own twist, your own flavor onto things. And that means that from there, you can show us what you can do when you're the one in the driver's seat, when you're the player of a higher caliber, how your flavor works, what your spice is. That's how, you know, Indomie Meringue give us those extra bits, right? You know, everyone's got a little bit of a different flavor. Sometimes you want something different, and that's what you do. You bring your own individual flair. But definitely Trinity now much more comfortable position here. You can see Westbourne have definitely taken their foot off the gas here towards the very end. But I really do like that Westbourne have put themselves forward, for best foot forward to jump in and obviously bring us what they can in this scenario. One last little dying goal here. Trinity will be able to jump it across there. Perhaps 6 seconds here. Maybe they can let Westbourne get something onto the board in the end. We'll have to wait and see. I do like that skin from William, though. It looks very, it's a bit flashy, yet unassuming, right? It's You know, it's going to that matte color, then sleeking back and forth. Not too much there, but I do like that there. As you can see, Dina and Twitch looking pretty able to take this one away. And definitely some good stuff there. Again, Trinity just too strong. The caliber of play definitely up there. I definitely want to give a lot of credit here to Westbourne for shredding their stuff, showing us what they can do, understanding what they're going to need to do a little bit better into the future. But that being said, that is Division 2. Sometimes there is an opponent that's a little bit stronger here. Looking at Trinity this time around, I feel like once they have 3 players, they can definitely be in a position to be much stronger or in a much more competitive position in Division 1 in the future. But of course, there's only so many spots that can get into Division 1. Thank you guys for putting that together, and we'll be right back here once again once we go to a quick break where we will be bringing Division 1 action. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Australian Esports High School League for Term 3. Things looking really good here. I love a bit of Rocket League towards the end of the day in the afternoon, and it's going to be Division 1 coming up, Cleveland versus Faith. Really excited to jump into this action. I believe the teams are just about getting ready to jump into it as well. And yeah, things are going to be really heating up here. I think it's going to be completely different sort of flavor to what we've been seeing throughout the day. And I'm really excited to see what they bring to the table. Super Origami, AJ Star, Alkanu on the side of Faith, Organic Mama Milky, Minion Evan, and John on the side of Cleveland. So I believe we're jumping into that kickoff right now as I do transition across. Already right off the back here, Faith managed to push towards Cleveland's side here. Many managed to get the clear out in the end as well. You can see good rotations come across from both sides, means that the goal's going to be absolutely locked away. Unable to get the touch they wanted to there, but Organic does manage to get that on through. John's going to be there and push that one right on in. You can see here they were expecting the ball to go a little bit further down beforehand. Actually threw Faith off. And then the follow-up through from Organic meant that John could be there for the goal. So Cleveland off there for a nice, fantastic start. Not the most craziest kickoff there. More just going to be knocking its way into the corner. As I say, the corner onto the side wall there in the center. Minion trying to clear it out of the corner here, but Faith will be doing whatever they can to keep it in. They do finally manage to get it clear. Manages to pick up some boost towards the end there, but Origami will shut down the play. Organic trying to get it back in now as well. You can see here, very deliberate effort to keep the ball knocked away. Oh, you hate when it happens. Nice strong strike come across from Minion Evan there. You can see that they're trying to hold position, but the pinch, okay, you were not expecting that pinch there into the wall. It was a 50-50 pinch into the wall that gave an insane spin off the ball. And obviously, Faith just were not ready for that one, and it means it was deflected into the net. So, you know what? This is Rocket League. This happens. It tends to always be the case that does happen, is Organic able to jump in, sneak between the lines of the defenses here of Faith. You can see AJ, not the best touch, did actually hit the wheels of the car, which softens the blow. If they were able to get it off the bonnet, I think the ball would have shot upwards and away. So, unfortunate there. Not the best touch, and it does mean that Cleveland is going to be taking full control. John doing a good job there as well to control the ball towards the corner here. Nice little setup. Origami trying to get it out of there. And Cleveland just seem to be so fast there with their strikes, so accurate with their hits, and they're really beginning to show us what they're capable of here. Faith definitely not having the best start, but of course it is still early days here on this best of 5. Still going to have some opportunities for Faith to come back. Perhaps it's just a slow start. Cleveland just choosing not to challenge the kickoff. We'll let the ball float on through. That is a legitimate strategy in most cases there. John looking for a flip reset, but isn't going to find it. Organic waiting in the wing to go in for the center. John once again there for the finish, and you can kind of see that they've sort of set these plays up numbers of times. I think John was actually also jumping in towards the center goal a little bit early just to get some knocks, get some demos, get some bumps, open up that goal a little bit more as the ball came on through and was able to recover to finalize. Minion now unable to find the angle there. We'll push that on through to John. Faith, yeah, just a little bit slow to the ball, and it's really beginning to show here as Cleveland now pick up another one. Doing my best DJ Khaled impression. Another one. Another one. Cleveland really showing a commanding presence here in game 1. Faith, 3 minutes on the clock here. I mean, crazier things have happened. You can still definitely bring back 6 goals with this one here, but this is typically a bit of a blowout lead that Cleveland's brought here. Let's see what they can bring back. Organic Trying to push that one through to the center here. Faith there. Had a bit of an opportunity to mount an offense. I don't like that one, but Alan is able to get back. You could see Organic like a heat-seeking missile. Felt that they were able to hit the mark there. Wanted to move in and get another goal if possible, but Alkin Yu was able to get in position here. Nice little pinch on the wall. Cleveland was not expecting that, and Faith showing us some signs of life. Oh, that wasn't even a wall. That was a floor pinch. That's even more beautiful. That's even better. Some people might go, oh, that's lucky. That was intentional. That was very nicely played there. And we need to see a little bit more of that from Faith to perhaps bring it back a bit evenly. Maybe it's a bit late in game 1, but they can definitely do it in game 2. Now we can see Alan's going to bring it towards the... Bring it across field. John tries to get it on through. A nice little play there. Bit of an open net here, but the ball had too much pepper on it. Does go wide, doesn't mean Faith has a setup. But when it flips over to the other side, ball is going to be in a fantastic position there, as you can see here. Nice little push there. 3-man commit to the offense. Does leave an open net. And Minion doesn't miss. Minion already in a position. And 1 minute, 44 seconds left on the clock. We do have a Brazil. 7-1. Nice little touch there. Is still going to skit on through. Faith had the members there. They tried to defend, but it was a shot they're just not expecting. And it's tough, right, with those ones as well, because you think they might have a little bit more speed. You jump a bit early. You jump a bit late. But in that sort of scenario, they did manage to get a touch onto it, but ultimately, good strike was able to lock itself away there towards the back end. And yeah, Faith just needs to go back to the drawing board with this one. Cleveland are just moving a bit quick on. You can see that Faith have rotations. They have the players looking in the right places. We've seen Super Origami do some crazy stuff in the past. Cleveland just looking too strong at the moment. Super now trying to push towards the center there. Faith looking to reset up here. Trying to see if they can perhaps find an angle off the backboard or the corner rebounds. John using a nice little floor pinch there to put the ball in a dangerous position there for Cleveland, and Minions are able to finish it as well. You can see AJ tries to block it the second time. To be honest, if AJ left the ball, it would have bounced similarly in terms of the hit coming back anyway. So I'm not against the second time defense from AJ. But you can see that it was still relatively a setup there for Cleveland there to jump in and get it. So, Organic now tries to push it in. Good defense from Faith to cut off that play at its legs and knock it from the backboard. But ultimately, at 9-1, we do know who's going to be the clear winner of Game 1 in. Looking like Cleveland will be in a really strong position here, perhaps to take this series. Unless Faith can show us they do have another level that they can reach. Another form, right? You can see that dying seconds there. Opportunity coming across in the end. But of course, ball's going to hit the ground. It does mean that it is going to go to the next game there. And you can see the scores there. Lots of good stuff coming across there. The shots, assists, goals. Minion being able to find a John. Just nice even score line across the board there. Every member bringing something to the plate. And yeah, I mean, Faith just really do need to show us another level here, or I do feel the series will definitely be going the way of Cleveland. It's you know, you can see those scenarios there when the games are a little bit closer, what they bring, what happens, but just not going to be the case this time around. But I believe we do have the next But I believe we do have the next game. We're back. Alright, I believe we're back. We're back. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. But we're all good. We're back in it. Back into the action there, guys. Sorry about that one there, but these things happen. Part of the part of what we can do to be here, bring it, make it work. That being said, though, now Faith able to strike back. What we missed there when we had a bit of our technical difficulties was, of course, going to be Faith managing to bring themselves one extra goal here, showing us a little bit more longevity, a bit more speed, a bit more power. Cleverly not having the same reach they did as they had in game one. How can you now looking to push it through? Ooh, a little bit of a hit there, but AJ's able to recover, able to push the ball out. It's not the best feeling when you bump your teammate. Not the best feeling. John now up in the air. Nice little control there. Looks to get a bit of a flip reset, but didn't get all 4 tires onto the ball. But was able to cause a bit of chaos there on the Faith side of it. Still Faith, though, with the lead, with that extra goal in their pocket. Alcanu tries to get a touch in the redirect, but unable to find it. John now up in the air, looking to air dribble down. That is just beautiful control. Very nice stuff there. Able to bring up. Gets that little extra touch to Bill Akin. AJ unable to map onto the trajectory of the ball. And that does mean we're going to find ourselves an evened up game. Good. What I mean, like sometimes you really do need those equalizers early, because you can sit there playing down 1 goal for a solid 3 minutes, and it starts to eat at you. It really does. And then for John to bring in that equalizer, that a minute in with such a beautiful goal, gives such good momentum for the rest of the game. It would definitely hurt Faith in a similar fashion. The fact that, hey, we're 1 up, we want to hold it, we want to extend it, we want to get a little bit more if possible. But to then get hit with such a beautiful goal coming across from John does take the wind out of your sails, does limit what you can do. That being said, the resilience from both these teams has held on. They've been doing a great job playing it out there. Nice little flick from John. We'll try to push it up into the air. Try to fire on Faith a little bit off center if possible, but AJ, Super Origami using each other there to pinch the ball, or 50-50 the ball in a direction they want it to go. You can see they put their cars in the right little fashion to work together to get out of the danger zone nice and quick. Alkin leaving it to Super. Super now pushing it down, fire, nice deep ball. See if they can perhaps make it work, but Cleveland goes, you know what? If you can do it, we can do it too. John manages to get there, tries to slow down a clearance if possible. Alkin has an opportunity here to make something work, but you can see that the rotations have come back from Cleveland, so it's going to be not an open goal. Alkin missing out a little bit there, but again, this and this is the thing I'm talking about, like when the ball's a bit stationary and you don't have a clear trajectory for momentum to come in and set up, and everyone's sort of like in that close corridor, it's very tough, even Division 1 there. That's a beautiful shot by John on the double. Tries to get a double touch to bring it down. Isn't unable to make it the conversion. It's going to be cleared away by Faith. Ball's in a dangerous spot here. Alkin spots it and is able to convert. And you can see they're just trying to get control. Super Origami goes, nope. Let me knock that ball directly into the backboard, and Alkin jumps in, able to find it, able to lock that one away. Bit of a scary moment here as well now for Faith. For the ball, Does a bit of a hit around, as you can see. Goes through in the end there. Nice little strike from AOC. Gets it right out, and not even just right out, into the hands of Super Origami, who's able to finalize that goal and puts Faith in a position, a comfortable position, to lock away game one. As I say that, the possible chance here, John jumps on it immediately. The kickoff goal puts it back in a position that's possible for Cleveland to maybe bring it to overtime. Stop Faith from making this a series. They did it once before. They're not going to do it again. Alkin's able to get in a nice little good spot. A few members missing. And just as quickly as hope is gained, just as quickly as hope is snuffed out. Nice little hit from Super Origami to put it in that top corner. Off the back of the wall rebound. Cleveland just not in position to deal with that sort of touch. With 10 seconds left here, ball relatively in a dead position, as much as Cleveland is trying. I'm pretty confident in saying Faith is going to take away this second game. As the ball drops dead, Faith equalize here in the series. 4-2. Definitely showing us that they do have the ability to bring it up a notch. The dominating performance from game one from Cleveland now definitely feels very far away. And now it's up to Cleveland to go back to the drawing board now. They're the ones that need to bring something back if possible. You sort of lose a little bit of that confidence now that that's not going to be there. You do need to bring yourself back into it. Definitely going to be a tough one, but I really do like the fact that Faith were able to show some resilience, bring themselves back, give us a bit of fortitude. Now Cleveland are going to be the ones that need to give us that fortitude, give us that capability to see what they can do. Game 3 now has come to life. Kickoff going in the favor of Faith, but John doing a good job of controlling. Has plenty of boost here. Tries to go for the musty, but it was a little bit too choreographed, a little bit too obvious. Faith were able to defend. Minion now brings it up, wants to push it off the backboard. Organic unable to get there, but John is looking for a double touch. It's good, but AJ is better than that shot. Was able to sit down in the right position and was able to stop the goal from going through. Minion now wants to collect that boost, but the bounce being a bit too awkward means it's going to have to go to John to push that one away. Organic now. Trying to get it in towards the center. Will be cleared out by Faith. And again, Faith just now have met the speed of Cleveland without losing the accuracy. That's like the big thing that comes into it. Nice little touch from Origami will stop there being a chance of a shot here for Cleveland. You can see they really wanted to take advantage of that rebound off the backboard. Organic now wants to set up there for John. John finds it, able to lock that one away here. You can see Organic, nice quick play there, able to stop AJ from deflecting it in. Super Origami tries to get around it, but the shot 102 kilometers per hour, too quick, too fast. Cleveland off to an early lead. As I say that though, as fast as it is granted, as quickly it is taken away there. But it was soft touch from Minion trying to control the ball, and Alkin has just been so good this series at finding those strikes to get in. You really can't leave anything onto the table, otherwise Alkin will take that scrap and absolutely turn it into something useful. John now looking for another double touch. It's going to be good. But very quickly he's able to get that lead that was lost so quickly. And like, yeah, normally those touches, I don't like them from Organic, but the trust of your teammates to sort of, hey, I'm going to redirect this, take advantage of it, understands the capabilities of what both John and Minion are capable of. He's quite happy to do that redirect touchdown and obviously throw off the defensive Faith, who probably expecting the ball to bounce off the backboard, not off a player, not for it to redirect down in such a way, but perhaps to pop up. And when you're communicating, I'm going to bring it down to you, I am going to pass it down, be ready, and to know that your teammate's going to capitulate and jump on afterwards. Beautiful stuff there from Cleveland. John now jumps up high, has plenty of boost to make it work. He's able to beat 2 players there, understands they're going to fall short, so calls in Organic to assist. Not going to get a goal, but still nice to look at, right? Pretty plays are pretty. John now, once again, just so dangerous in the air. Isn't going to be able to find it. Will be redirected off a Faith member at the last second. Organic now pulls it up high. AGON cuts off that play, says, no, 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 no. I see what you're trying to do. I'm not going to let you do it. Nice wall pinch. We'll push the ball towards center. Faith having to reposition themselves off the back of the extra speed. AGON tries to slow it down, but is going to be unsuccessful getting themselves strong air dribble. John now. Touch was a little bit too hard, but still able to find a floor pinch. That's someone that, you know, sort of fell down and made it look like they were doing push-ups instead. That's what that felt like. John pushes over the edge there, but not going to have too much power. And a bit of an ebb and flow now between these teams to look for a setup there. AJ tries to beat the plays, but it's going to be unsuccessful. Like the pass to John. He sets up. Manages to get another flip reset. Does mean, though, that in the end it's going to settle down. It is very impressive when you're able to go from one length of the field to the other there. That's a lovely one by Organic. Just a nice, simple touch. Sometimes you don't need to be fancy here. And just a quick response to understand where the ball is going to be coming from the ceiling. Means they're able to shore up a nice, good lead here in Game 3. 3-1. Not an impossible scoreline, but definitely a hard one. Definitely a comfortable one. If you're Cleveland at this point. Especially with only 50 seconds on the clock. You'd be feeling pretty confident that you can be able to take that one away. Faith can still make something happen. Minion's going to let that one go through. A little bit of faking. Again, I'm completely fine with them not even scoring anything right now. Just maintaining possession. Keeping it in a dangerous position here of Faith. They can't get it out of their corner. There's always a threat of a ball coming through. And it just means there's just no opportunity for them to score. And that is a bit of a sad moment. I just want to look to see if it's just an awkward bounce. Yeah, it is a bit awkward. But not unreadable. I think AJ could have done a little bit better there, but it is definitely still a tough one to make. When you're, the camera, at that point when the car's coming back around, the camera repositions, you know, you need to really be on point there of repositioning your camera ball from your own direct view. And it is definitely something that can be mucked up. But Cleveland's refinding their form, able to bring this now to the next game, take it away, bring it to their match point. Faith now fighting to stay alive here in this next game. But I do like the fact that they were able to bring it back and give us a competition so far. And yeah, things really beginning to heat up now. This is where the pressure really starts to mount for both teams. You want to finish it here. You don't want it to go to like Game 5. You want to lock it here now in Game 4. You can't. You don't want to give away that advantage. You want to take away the first round robin, really. I mean, technically this is round 3. Don't get me wrong. But You wanna finish very strong. You wanna get as much as you can here early on. Ultimately, all right, even if you lose in the first couple rounds and then you're just really strong for the rest of the round robin, these don't matter too much. Let's be frank. But it is nice to have it, right? Just to have that little bit of that buffer early. So John now looking for a strike. Is just going to go a little bit wide of the goal there. As I say that, is able to jump it over the edge, but Alkin's able to get back in time. Now he's going to control it, pass back on through. Cleveland do read this, but don't get the interceptor looking for. John now up in the air there. Super Origami doesn't want them to have any opportunity to make this work. Minion, not sure if I like the challenge against the wall, to perhaps maybe get an interesting bounce in. It does leave you a little bit vulnerable on the counter attack, but this time they're not going to be punished for it. We'll put it up high for John. Won't show us their characteristically strong aerial play that we've been seeing from time to time. Alkin now won't look to push it across corner there. Was thinking about it. You can see with their positioning that they wanted to jump on the ball, but thought better from him, and I agree from that angle. Might have pushed into a dangerous position there for an opportunity for them to score. John now wants to take it across field. Will be challenged midair and stopped. Real opportunity here for Cleveland, and they managed to capitalize. You can just see that John knew what needed to be done. Pushed the ball down in. Two members from Faith try to get there, but unfortunately unable to make it work. And Cleveland here, in the 3rd minute of elapsed play, is able to find themselves something. But Faith are not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. 1 goal with 3 minutes on the clock is not a comfortable position. Cleveland need more. Cleveland need to put a few more away if they want to be safe from the threat that is Faith. John now showing us a chance for a flip reset. Super Origami goes, none of that. The fancy play is nice, but at the end of the day, strong mechanics can be overcome by good positioning and understanding where you need to be. And that was literally what Origami was showing us. Hey, you want to go for a flip reset in front of my goal? I'm just going to ram myself into the ball while you're trying to do that. That's a bit of a sad moment there, John. I don't want to take away the goal here, but it's a good center. It's a good strike. But I feel that just the rotations from Faith were not there at that second. And if the rotations were there, they probably would have got back to defend. But they weren't. Cleveland now in a definitely much more comfortable position. John now. Okay, that's very nice. Super Origami once again. Good clear. I just want to reiterate that they're doing some nice stuff there, and they are making it very hard for Faith to mount to come back. I see, you know, I've said I don't want to take away from John's mechanics. Believe me, it does force a response from Faith. It has been doing it from time and time again, and there it just outplays. That was beautiful. I love this sort of play. Organic realizing, hey, I've got control here. I'm going to redirect the setup. The rest of Faith were in a position if the ball was a fast play move in. So we're going to slow it down, pass it to John, force the rest of Faith to jump out of their defensive positions, opening up the goal. And John just played it perfectly with good control there. Opportunity here just missed for Cleveland, but doesn't matter in the end. The clear is not strong enough. Minion locks it in. And at 4-0 here, I feel with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to the clock, Cleveland are in a very, very strong position to take away this round. They found out of it, but they probably are, right? 1 minute and 30. Like, they sort of need to start scoring a goal every 15 seconds to be able to come back. And even then, maybe, you know, even at that point, maybe like is 20 seconds possible? No, you need to be like 15. Like, 4 goals in 20s, 80 seconds. That's actually it's just not enough. You need to be every 15, and every 15 that elapsed afterwards, it's like, all right, now you need to score a goal every 10 seconds. And then from there, it's every 5 seconds. It just gets, you can just see it. It gets harder and harder and harder and harder. And it makes things worse, especially when John is able to get that control. They managed to get a member of Faith back, but the positioning just wasn't good. You can see here, beats AJ, comes in, and right as Alan's there, like, Alan is going full speed back to get in. Unable to get to the far post, unable to get into the center post, unable to be in the right position. Like, even at that point, far post, square post doesn't matter against the control of John, because he's able to get the nice little flick, able to get the point in. Faith get themselves onto the board there. This is exactly what they need. They just need to do that 4 more times to get it to overtime, and then obviously win the goal afterwards. 43 seconds. At that speed after kickoff, it's doable. Very unlikely, but doable. But kickoff comes through into the favor of Cleveland. John's up in the air there. That's a nice little hit. It's got a bit too much pepper on it. Does mean it's going to go too far wide of the goal for the rest of the teammates. Looking at Organic, looking at Minion to sort of jump in and make something happen. Super Origami will be challenged. Ball's in a bit of an awkward spot, but Cleveland make the clear work. John now in control once again, and John has been showing us some pretty strong stuff here. I mean, Minion and Organic have been doing some very beautiful plays as well, but you can just see that John has just been on a different level in this game. Nice little setups there. Coming across here, and Cleveland will be taking this one away. I do want to have a quick look at that scoreline, just sort of see the difference there. And you can see Minion doing some work, Organic doing some work, but John, 695, 3 goals, 5 shots, 2 assists, 64 touches. Keeping that ball close, keeping it out of the hands of Faith. Really good stuff there. You can see why John is one of the stronger contenders here for Cleveland. Some beautiful stuff. That being said, that's everything today. It's pretty crazy how quick everything's gone by. Some beautiful stuff from the team. Seeing some really good things from players at their own individual levels. What they want to bring to the table. How they do that. But of course, this competition has been brought to the table here by our sponsors. We can't close off without giving them the due that they are worth, right? So without any further ado, AGON by AOC, the gaming monitor partner who provides the best-in-class monitor solutions for gaming and all other needs. And Indomie, the noodle partner made with high-quality flour and selected ingredients and spices. A plate of Indomie meringue will certainly brighten up your day. Try any one of the flavors available today from your local grocer or at indomie.com.au. And with that being said, that is everything here that can come to a big thank you, of course, to the players, the teachers, the schools that make this happen, our admin team, and everyone working behind the scenes to make the broadcast work. And of course, the sponsors, who without that would not be possible. We still have more Rocket League in the weeks to come. This is only week 1. We still have another, actually it's only week 2. Obviously first week of the competition here of round robin. But of course, we still have the rest of it to play out and the finals. And I hope to see you there.